Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Uchenna. In this video, I'm going to be talking about listening, the power of listening, and how listening can help us transform our relationships. Every relationship, our relationship with ourselves, relationship with other people, and relationship with the environment and nature. So I won't discuss the whole three levels because of time. So I just need to explain that we have a relationship with ourselves. So we have to listen to our body, we need to listen to our mind, and we need to listen to our spirit. So those are the three levels of listening within the individual. And that's a different topic of discussion. Today I want to discuss our relationship with other people and how listening can help us transform those relationships. Then there's relationship with the environment. We need to listen as a group, as a collective, not as individuals this time. Also as individuals, but mainly as collective. Governments, organizations, businesses need to listen to what is happening in the environment, the climate change, and everything that's happening around us. Yeah, that's another discussion for a different day too. So I'll just go into what I wanted to discuss for today, which is how listening to other people can help transform our relationship with them. It could be your family members, or it could be friends, and anybody that you have to listen to, basically in a kind of conversation style. That's what I want to discuss today. So by listening, I don't mean hearing. Hearing and listening are different things. Hearing is a sensory acuity that we are born with. Most people have the ability to hear. But listening is a completely different thing. Hearing is just a sensory experience. So you could be hearing what I'm saying, but not listening to me. Listening requires focus and attention, and yeah, really just focusing on the other person that's saying what that is speaking, and intentionally, because it requires intentionally hearing what the person is saying and feeling what the person is saying. So by being intentional about it, and by really taking it as a practice to listen to what people have to say, which means that you're trying to understand them. Now, there's a difference between listening to understand and listening to respond, or to give your own point of view, or to explain yourself. If when we are listening to understand, what we do is that we focus on the person who is speaking, and we try to understand what they're saying. We try to feel the words behind what they say. This is what empaths do. This is the job of this is empathy. In practice, it's about active listening to what people have to say. And when you do that, the person that you're listening to will feel heard, because everybody wants to feel heard. Nobody wants to feel invisible. A lot of people that talk about nobody's seeing them, and because nobody wants to listen to them, so they feel invisible. That even when they're in the midst of people and they say something, nobody's listening, they just shrug it off as if they're not talking. So one, it helps you to understand the other person's reality. It helps you to connect deeply with the person that you're talking with. When somebody is speaking and knows that the other person is listening, there's a kind of healing that goes on within the person. It's a kind of emotional healing, because we want to be heard. That's why we are here. That's why human beings are around us. Everybody has something to say, and everybody wants to be heard. So if you're the one that has the power, the gift of being patient enough to listen to what people have to say, then you become a healer. That's what healers do. That's what psychiatrists and psychologists, psychotherapists do. They listen. It's very, very, very core in the healing process, listening. Then by listening, I mentioned it before, you see the human being behind the person who is talking. you don't just see them as another statistic, as someone that just came to talk. So you can actually feel the person. You can read the person through the tone of their voice, through their non-verbal communication, if you actually practice that listening skill. So it helps, in negotiation, in conversations, in leadership, especially in leadership in either organizations or families or whatever. You can't be a leader if you don't listen. You can't raise your children well if you don't listen to what they're saying. You cannot have a successful relationship if you don't listen to what your spouse is saying. So it has that power of transformation, of transforming people, of transforming relationships, and also of transforming people that want to be heard. Because most people's problem is that there's really nobody to listen to them, and nobody really sees them for who they are. And the only way you can see someone for who they are is just by listening to what they have to say, because you cannot see inside somebody's soul, but you can listen to the voice that comes out of the soul of the person that wants to be seen, or that needs to be seen. Well, everybody needs to be seen. That's how we know that we belong, in a group or in a family. Yeah, so that's basically the message I have today. By listening to people, we just what we are communicating to them is that they're important, and that they matter, and that what they're saying makes meaning, and that they have value, and that they are loved, basically. Yeah, so it's a way of showing love to people. There's no higher form of respect than just listening to what somebody has to say without trying to interject, and without trying to make your own point while they are talking, um, without without any agenda. You know, that's exactly what I mean. So yeah, that's just a message for today. Learn to listen. It's a deliberate act. It's an intentional act. It's not easy to do, because most times we always have something to say. We listen so that we can reply to what the person is saying. So you need to understand how to listen. And yeah, that's a message for today, and I hope it makes sense to you. Thank you. Bye.